Because normally
Always
we have
good
100
intentions.
ideas what we'd like to do, and we never really get round to doing half of them.
Well,
so.
I know what you mean about that. I've got a long list of things to do that I never seem to get done.
Yeah, and the list we have just grows and grows and grows. We never catch it up.
I can imagine.
But that's fine. It's good because it's all going places. It's all going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's true.
So we just need to know where the people are seeing us, and a nice little hello. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know where your location is. That'd be good. I'm always interested in where these go out and where people are that are seeing us. So I love the fact that people can just come in.
On my phone. It actually shows that we're live on the phone. I don't know if you can see that.
Here we are. So if we
Possibly.
comment, or if you comment, Andy, we'll know you're here. So I love the fact that people can just come in on my phone. It actually shows that we're live on the phone. I can hear you talking now.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There you go. Just turn my volume. There we go. You can see the comment. That's me saying hi to you.
Quince Porter in the house.
Exactly. So it is working, which is
it's
good.
Working. That's cool.
Oh, there we go. Comments. Can I see comments? Oh, yeah, I can. Cool.
Yeah. So
if you click on the comment box.
Yeah, this is all new to me. Never done this before.
It's all good. There's some lovely, lovely people on here. Lovely, lovely people. So like I say, if you do want to make a comment, let us know where you're watching from. That's really good because I always want to see people's locations. But one of the things for us here, certainly today and for the next few Thursdays, is we want to bring on a few people that can just come on and answer your questions, really, because we get lots of questions and people talking about the academy and about working and training and learning and getting certified. But we kind of feel that it's better to hear it from the people that have done it, because Andy and I stand behind the desk, and these guys like Nicole, they're the ones that face us. They're the ones that make us nervous to do our jobs. But we just thought it's better to get the real practitioners in that have done the course, and any questions that you have, just shout them out and we put them through to Nicole. But I think the easiest thing, Nicole, I mean, this is down to you, this podcast. This is all your space.
Oh, no.
So I think the easiest thing is that you just introduce yourself and just explain what it is you do.
Okay, well, I'm Nicole. I'm from Saskatchewan, Canada. Small city in Saskatchewan, rural Saskatchewan. I don't know, where should I start? My background and what brought me here?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, well, I could take up the whole podcast talking about my life experiences, but I won't do that. I'll just maybe go to the more recent things that have happened. So back in February of 2022, I was diagnosed with stage 2 lobular carcinoma breast cancer. So that kind of put a halt on my spiritual work. Actually was off work waiting for back surgery when that happened. And I actually had no idea I even had the cancer. Just fluke that I found out. So thank God. But so while I was going through the treatment of cancer, my dad got sick right in the middle of my treatments. So he had multiple strokes, diagnosed with lung cancer. So the fourth stroke that he had while he was in the hospital took his cognitive abilities, couldn't speak. So, of course, I'm his power of attorney. So while I'm dealing with my treatment, I had to take on all of his stuff, too. So that was a trying time. Last couple of years have been pretty stressful, but so had to look after him, had to make the decision to put him in a nursing home. He passed away 3 days after my birthday in October, this past October. So I took that 7 months from the time he passed to leading up to the course to really focus on healing, focus on myself. I did a lot of shadow work. You know, we do shadow work in layers. I think, you know, you think that you've dealt with with all your past traumas, but you really haven't, right? Like, I think you do it in layers. And so I really took that time to do some deep healing, and that pretty much brought me to the course. But when I first heard about you guys was on Laura's podcast, and I was like, whoa, what is this? And so I was immediately fascinated. So I had to learn everything I could about SRT, you guys, Dr. Palmer. I didn't miss a podcast, attended your meditations, did everything, right? So, yeah, where was I going with that? Anyway, yeah.
And it was that that sort of drew it to you? Or drew
I was drawn to it. Learned everything I could. So I thought, it was actually during my dad, he was still in the nursing home when I first talked to you, Jonno. I'd gotten a hold of you and asked about having a clearing done for him and if that would help him in his transition. And that's when I first mentioned to you about being interested in doing this work one day. But of course, at that time, I had too much on my plate, right? And I knew that first course was coming up, but that was just after my dad passed, and it was too much. And so I followed you guys throughout the whole process, the whole course. And I thought one day I'll be doing this work. And I think it was during Andy's, your spiritual protection and meditation class, Andy, I had said I was feeling stuck. Like I didn't know I needed to move forward, but I was interested in SRT. But at that time, I felt like I needed to grow more for some reason. So it was, you guys had that question and answer Zoom chat. So I hopped on there that day. And it was then that I realized it was my ego. It was my ego telling me that I needed to grow more. And I was actually listening to my guides, which I tend not to do. So it was after that, right after that, I said to my husband, I said, I'm going to apply for it. And I said, if it happens, it's meant to be. So I did. I applied for the course right after that chat that day. It was a Saturday night. I woke up the next morning to the acceptance email. And I was like, what? Like I had to rub my eyes. I'm like, what am I reading this, right? So I read it and I was like, I looked at him and I said, I guess I'm going to England. Oh, it just happened so fast for me. I kind of babble in here a little bit, but getting ahead of myself. But I just knew once I heard of it and learned, the more I learned about it, the more fascinated I became. And then after you did a clearing on my dad, and I had one done on myself too. And then after feeling what sovereignty felt like, I just knew I was going to do this work one day. It was amazing feeling.
And that's the thing. So I think there's two things here. I mean, there's the speed of the application for you. It does help when we know you. It does help when people that are applying join our circles, because we already have that impression of you. We already know. And very regularly, I've certainly had people sitting in circles with me, and I've known they're going to do the work, and I've just waited for the application. And as soon as that's come in, I'm like, yeah, I've been waiting for this. Thank you very much. We're done. And it helps us greatly, because we do have an application process. There's not a buy it now button. But certainly, what you're talking about, the sovereignty side and being able to be sensitive enough to feel your own sovereignty is a massive difference, and
huge.
Helps everything, doesn't it? Sovereignty helps absolutely everything. Yeah.
I'd never been so clear. Like, it was an immediate difference to me. Like I was like, wow, this is what I'm supposed to feel like. Like this is me. Like everything, my brain fog cleared. I had more energy. Everything became so clear. Yeah.
That's how it happens.
I think I was going to say, I think the sad thing is as well, you think most people never feel that in their whole life. So most people, by the time they end up in their teenage years, right through to their sort of last passing day, never get to feel sovereignty. And it's a real shame, I think, really, because it feels very different to having things connected to you that shouldn't be, and, you know, sort of controlling you in a negative way with intrusive thoughts, feelings, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And when I look back, I can see where there was points in my life where I was totally led by the dark. Like it's just so clear to me now, where I can see exactly when, and after traumas, you know,
especially after trauma.
Yes. And after feeling like this, it was like, wow, if I could do this for people and help people feel as good as I feel, I have to do this. I just have to do this.
And that's kind of what we say. We're looking for people that are drawn to it. We're not people that particularly want to do it.
Yeah.
We're looking for those that sort of look at it and say, that's for me. That's where I'm going.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
So what was it then? So you made the application, you come over. Did you know what you were walking into? Did you have any anxieties? I mean, this is all what people want to know, really. Is how was it? How was the whole experience, really?
It was indescribable. The whole experience is indescribable. There's no words. But from the time I applied, and there was like 3 weeks from the time I applied till I was on that plane coming to England. So I didn't have a lot of time to think about it, really, because too, when I was going on a holiday, like right in that time, I actually put my holiday off for a day just to plan my flights.
Wow.
But it was, everything just fell into place perfectly. From Jenny being on the same flight as me, Sarah's plane landing within minutes of ours, and we jumped in a town car and fit in Stonehenge the same day. I just soak up that in.
Because you guys didn't know each other before, did you?
Pardon me?
So you guys didn't know each other before. You actually just joined, you arrived at an airport together and then kind of flew together effectively, or met at the airport.
Yeah, found out in our chat there that Jenny was on the same flight as me. So we started chatting and planning and met each other at the Calgary airport and hopped on that plane, and it just, everything fell into place perfectly. I had 0 second thoughts too, like 0. And that for me, like to make a decision, I can't make a decision. My life depended on half the time. But this was different. It was just, it felt right. And I knew I was where I needed to be. 100% knew where I needed to be.
And you actually visited Stonehenge on the way to the hotel, did you?
Well, so what happened was, it was like planned, like within minutes. So we landed, got to the hotel, checked in, had a cab booked. Like I think we had like 20 minutes to check our bags into our room and then jump in this cab, get to Stonehenge before it closed. So yeah, it was like boom, 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 went to Stonehenge, got back, and then Monday morning, I actually wasn't nervous. I was actually quite surprised how calm I was. And then walking through those classroom doors, of course, you guys welcomed us with open arms, which I knew it was going to be an incredible week prior. But that, I mean, and then starting the class off with Ghostbusters theme. That was perfect. Oh, but no, I wasn't nervous. I think the only time I was a little nervous was when we were about to practice for the first time. But that quickly went away because the support was amazing. There's always somebody standing close by, you know, if you need them, they're there. The energy, wow. I could just feel it walking into, like, arriving at the hotel, you could feel it. But that Monday morning, walking through those classroom doors, it was like, it just hit me. Like I got goosebumps thinking about it. And that high vibration was all week long. It's actually such a blur. And I think it's because we're so up here, the time flew. It felt like 2 days, not a week. It just flew. And the time and the preparation that you guys had put into this course was top notch. I've never been to a course in my entire life where I wanted to sit at the front of the classroom. And I was so engaged. I didn't even leave the room the whole time to go to the bathroom until there was a break because I didn't want to miss a word that you guys had to say. I was just that engaged. So another confirmation I knew where I needed to be. I've never been that engaged in anything I think I've ever done in my life.
Wow, because I mean you're a very qualified person. I know that. So, yeah. Wow. Okay. That's amazing to hear. Thank you. I mean, one of the things is that hotel is where Andy and I go and sit every Friday, so we're constantly clearing it anyway.
Oh, it's a gorgeous place, and they took such good care of us. The food was amazing. Everything about it was perfect.
Yeah, we're treated really, really well there. Really well.
Yeah.
But that's the thing as well, is that the night before the course, Andy and I turn up with our wives and we prepare the room and everything. And we always make sure that the space is high energy and very, very pure, very, very clear.
You can tell.
So yeah, it's nice. It's nice that you feel that as well.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. I keep saying amazing because that's the word that comes to mind about the whole experience. Like, it's literally changed my life. I'm not the same person I was prior to going to England. Not even close.
In what way?
I've had, during being there, I went through so many shifts and I've had so many realizations, and the shifts just keep coming. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, things have just become so clear to me, like everything. My past, the future, where I want to go, just the shifts. I don't even know how to describe it. Really.
And would you say that's a common thought for the people that attend, or do you think you're?
I would think
unique?
So. Yeah, definitely.
Something that a lot of people say, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When we built the course and when we designed it, we put a lot. Well, we put a year of work into those 5 days. But the one thing we didn't realize is that the amount of people, virtually everybody, that says what a difference it makes.
Oh, yeah. And I just have to express my gratitude to you guys for that, for creating this course and providing that safe environment to learn. The topics are serious and heavy, but you made it fun. Like, I think I had so much fun. And the people, when I walked in there, I've never went somewhere where I didn't know anybody prior to this, but I felt like I belonged, like I was at home, like there was like a long lost soul family reunion is really what it felt like to me. It was like, I just felt so comfortable. I've never felt that comfortable anywhere. I always feel uncomfortable in groups of people or crowds of people. Not there. Not there. I was like, was at home.
It is odd, isn't it? I mean, it is a room full of strangers.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, everybody gets on immediately.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? When you're around people like you, obviously because you're there, your vibration's the same as ours. So, and this is what I find, if I go and spend time in a room, I don't know, like business meetings, work functions, you're not around people like you because they're corporate people. You're not really interested in the product if it's something to do with something boring generally. So you're kind of doing things to tick boxes because you have to from a work perspective. But when we all get together from a spiritual perspective and we're all interested in the same thing, then you are around your tribe, you're around just people like you. And I think we all feel that, like as everyone walks through that door, we feel the same. We think, oh yeah, it's, we don't know you, we've never met you particularly, but you feel like the energy is, these are the same people, the same. And we all know everyone's been through traumas and pain and problems and stuff. And that comes out during the week, basically, because it has to come out. Because that's part of the work, is to clear yourself before you can do this type of thing. So we sort of know that you guys are on this transitory journey that's going to start off to be good fun on day one, because we laugh quite a lot. And then it gets pretty serious. And then we kind of make it fun at the end. But we kind of know that there's going to be a bit of a transition. So there will be tears. There will be a bit of upset, but there will be high emotions, and everything gets kind of amalgamated together as part of those 5 days.
And
which
that's
is kind of
us. That's just me and Andy with the tears.
Yeah, I think it's probably a true statement.
But it is a whole, if you like, roller coaster of emotions, because there is that first day of what's happening, what's going on. Here's Jonno and Andy. How we're going to do this? How does it work? All of a sudden, we start revealing the layers of what we work and what we do and how we do it. And then, of course, midweek, it's down to you. You do your first clearing, don't you?
Yeah.
And we call it a practice session because there's experienced practitioners in there helping. But we don't have practice clearings because you can't. They're all real.
Yeah.
They're all real. So I think certainly from course one, we had a lot of people that were, or I say a lot of people, we had a number of people that were very anxious about doing their first day in clearance. And that is midweek. And then at the end of that clearing, certainly what we hear is that it works. The process works. All of a sudden, Nicole, the person that you're working with, is now becoming a little bit more confident. And then the more we do it, the more confident you get. And from our side of things, we can see that confidence grow in the room.
It's interesting to see it from your guys' perspective, like what you see the growth and the change in the people that during that week. It's amazing.
It's very humbling.
Yeah.
It's very humbling. And, you know, I know that we're here to talk about you, but last night we saw you work with a medium.
Yes.
You know, it's the first time I've seen you work with a medium outside of the course. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. And, you know, when we have those Wednesday night evenings, the shift in confidence is amazing, because there were people that took me aside that had a lot of anxiety going on, had a lot of emotion to release during that course. And then on a Wednesday evening, they're like, boom, here I am.
Just let it go. And there it is.
Yeah. It's very, very humbling from our side. But one of the things you did say is that you felt completely safe.
Yes. I was
On the
just
course.
going to mention that the protocol that you guys developed, you know, if you follow that and you stick to it, you get in, you do your clearing, you get out, there's no reason to be worried. Like, I've never felt unsafe doing this work. And you're dealing with some pretty heavy stuff. And you could see how you could go down those rabbit holes that you talk about, for sure, how easy that is. But, you know, you stay focused, you get in, you do the work, you get out, done, you'll be fine, you know. And then the protection, you need to be serious about your daily protection too, which you know, it's kind of funny how the leading up, I was thinking about all the time I've spent in the hospitals and the nursing home every day. And this was prior to even knowing about this. I would say, walking up to that hospital, I'd say, Archangel Michael, please blast this place with white light, remove any and all negative energy, and just surround me in white light every single time. Because I knew, because I could feel it. You can feel that dark energy in there and you see it. Like, and I spent a lot of time going in and out between me and my dad, and then him in the nursing home. I was there every day, and you could just feel that heavy energy. So, but yeah, now, and then taking Andy's course leading up to this course, which was so beneficial too. And it was actually, Andy, when I said to you the one day, I said I was feeling stuck, and you told me, you said, write on a piece of paper a bunch of different modalities, and, you know, how did I do that? I think I just, you know, shook them around, and every time I picked one, it was SRT. And it was around the same day, like within days that you had that question and answer Zoom chat. And then it was like, okay, I know this is what I need to be doing. I got to do it.
Yeah, it's an amazing story. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? When you're supposed to be in a certain place doing a certain thing, then the guys are going to get you there by hook or by crook any which way, because all paths kind of lead that way, don't they, really? And like you say, I think the more people we talk to, certainly the students in terms of SRA and the work we do, everyone has their story, but the stories are all very similar, that they get led to this point. They realize that this is where they're supposed to be, whether that's, relationship ending, things that put you in that place, or work ends. So people get made redundant and then they've got no work, but then they've got time, so they can come on the training. It's really interesting to hear the stories as to how you get freed up to be at the right place at the right time, effectively.
Yeah, which is kind of how I look at how this whole experience with me and being off work. I was put off work because of I have spondylolisthesis of my L5S1 and I was waiting for back fusion surgery when the whole breast cancer thing happened. Right. And I actually think, okay, this is all happening for a reason. And I look at the cancer that way too. It was like a blessing in disguise. As crazy as that sounds, it really gave me that kick in the butt, I think, that I needed to, like, whoa, stop and look at your life. I mean, I was on that spiritual path prior, but that, it might have halted my spiritual work and business, but it didn't halt my growth. Like, I grew so much in that time period that, when I stayed positive every single day, I was like, there's no way this is taking me down, no way. And that positive mindset too just gets you through. I mean, you put your mind to something, but that growth that I experienced from the shitty experiences that I've had, I wouldn't trade it for anything now. Because it's made me who I am today and put me where I need to be.
And you quite like who you are today?
I do.
Good, because we quite like you too.
Oh, thanks.
And it is, and your journey is similar to many that are there, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we got Jane and we got Jenny that also did the course with you. They're commenting and saying hello and sharing their hearts. And Jane's saying that she loves working with you, and I know that Jenny does. And a few more people coming in saying they love your laugh.
I laugh a lot when I'm nervous.
Don't be. Not here. Don't be here.
So laugh every day. 10 statement.
Yes. Yeah.
Try and do that.
I wrote that down. You know what was crazy as it is? I wrote pages of notes about what I wanted to talk about today, and when you're put on the spot, it's like, I didn't want that to happen. So.
Well, it hasn't.
I was thinking it's better than rather than like reading a script. It's much better just to let things flow, because the conversation goes off in whatever way anyway, and it's kind of more real. Whereas when you watch someone read something, they're looking down all the time, and it's kind of not engaging, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact is, John and I can't read, so we never read anything.
So that's the thing, isn't it? So you've gone through all these life experiences, you've gone through the training, you've come out the other side, because after the course that we do, of course, there's then your portfolio to write, there's your case studies to do, and working through that takes a little bit of time and a lot of effort as well.
Oh, it sure does.
And now you've got your full certification.
Yep.
And now you're working clearance.
Yes.
Wow.
And loving it, every minute of it. I'm so excited to be a part of making that difference. And if, helping people just overcome darkness and, helping them get through that sledge. I mean, you can do it. And these clearings, it's amazing. The feedback and the few that I've done, it just blows me away. It's so rewarding. It's hands down the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I probably will ever do. Yeah, and I can't wait to see what the future brings. I mean, there's lots of opportunities, right?
Absolutely, there is.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. When you start to do this work and you see the impact on the people you're working for, this is what gets us out of bed every day, because effectively it's not a job anymore, is it? It's a calling that you feel that you have to do rather than you want to do, even sometimes. Because we all have times when we're tired, or we've had like a late night, or you're not feeling great. But that whole, you've got clients to work with, people to work with, and heal and work for effectively. It feels like you're working for other people, but you're working for yourself as well, because when you've been in those situations yourself, someone else has come in and helped you. And this is kind of what we do, isn't it? It's that whole, I've been in my sort of darkest night of the soul, and I've kind of come out of it and feel better now. And now I can do something to help other people in that same space. Yeah. And this is the whole kind of driver from an SRA perspective, is the more people we can get trained all over the world, then the more people get healed, and the more people move into that sovereign state that they don't even know that they're not in, which is the kind of the odd thing about it, really.
Yeah, and so many people have no idea, and something so simple really can make such a huge impact. Huge impact.
And that's a really good point, I think, actually, Nicole, because simple is exactly that. We could teach the protocol to a 5-year-old child, maybe 6 or 7. As long as they can read, they could effectively run through the protocol with a medium. But, from a facility perspective, they are kind of running the session. So what's your opinion of the split between the two roles now that you're in that position and you're doing the work?
Well, they're both very important. And that's what I like about having the two roles, right? You need one to do it safe, like one without the other. You can't do it, and you can't do it safely. Being a facilitator, there's a lot to being a facilitator, right? You've got to manage the session. You have to keep an eye on the medium, make sure that they're okay. So like even yesterday when we were doing that clearing, I'm trying to write things down, but I'm keeping an eye on her. I recorded it, which is helpful, right? Because there's no way I could have write all that information down. Because you really have to keep your eye on them and make sure that they're safe. And that, and of course their role is very important because they're the ones bringing in the guides, doing the work. So, yeah.
And there you've got your harmony and partnership.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
Also, I guess from our perspective, what's your opinion of working with different people? Because obviously the whole way this is structured is that mediums are working with facilitators. So basically, there's this opportunity to kind of team up with people in different time zones all over the world. So it's not that you've got a particular pairing. If you're a medium and you've got work, or you're a facilitator with work or clients, you can basically find who you want to work with. So, and of course, as this collective gets bigger, there's more and more people, which obviously makes it more and more interesting, I guess, from your point of view, really.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm working with the different guides too. It's like, when you work with somebody a few times, you kind of get that feel of, okay, I know their mannerisms, and you can kind of gauge. But when you first start and it's somebody new, it's like, okay, you gotta. There's a lot going on up here trying to figure stuff out. But yeah, it's amazing. I still can't believe that I went. Like sometimes I still have to look back and just say, did that really happen? Did that just happen? Did I really do that?
Well, it did, and you're doing amazing work now. And we saw it last night.
Oh, thank you. And it's all because of you guys. It's all because of you two.
Well, I think that Terry...
It's all because of you, actually. We did.
I think Terry, Chen, and White Hawk get most of the credit.
Yeah, of course, I have to mention them too. Don't want to forget them.
We just turn up and crack some jokes, generally.
Yeah. So what would be the one thing, do you think, if there was one thing that you took away from this, if someone said to you, all your training, all the after work that you have to do as well of your portfolio, the case studies, and now going where you are now with the weekly evenings that we have where we're talking and working together, if there was one thing that you would shout out, what would that be?
One thing that I would shout out?
Whether it be your work or somebody else's or anything.
It's worth it. Every ounce of hard work and it is hard work. Like you said, you just go to the course and show up and get a certificate. You really have to put that time and effort in, earn that. But was worth every ounce of it, every ounce of the hard work to be able to just have that feeling after you've done a clearing and knowing that you made that, hopefully made a difference in somebody's life. Like, and if you're thinking about taking this course, or if you're drawn to it, like I said before, don't let that ego get in the way. Push that aside and go for it. You know, like you said too before, it's not for the faint-hearted. You know, people that have had those traumatic experiences and not such an easy life, it seems to attract those type of people, right? So I don't know. There isn't just one thing I could shout out. It's amazing, indescribable. There aren't words to describe this work. Wow. And how important it is.
Wow. And where can people find you? You have a Facebook page, don't you?
I do. I had a business name prior where I was doing Reiki and actually make driftwood art with crystals. My husband and his family have a fishing camp up north, so you have to fly in to get there. So it's untouched land. So so I've gathered tons of driftwood and I brought it home and I started making wands and art out of this driftwood. So I was doing that. I haven't really gotten back into it. So I have a business name, Mystical Vitality Healing, and a Facebook page, which needs some work, which I'm just starting to resurrect again. I took Laura's social media class, so hopefully I'll learn a few things from that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And I just need to ask this untouched land where you have this fishing experience, is that in Canada?
It is in northern Saskatchewan.
So I'm going to guess that it's untouched land apart from the bears. Is that right?
Right. Bears, lots of bears. And
yeah. I don't think you'll ever see me there.
Don't worry, John. We wouldn't want you.
I think they're scared of me because they don't come around, it seems, when I'm there. I never see them.
Wow. What an amazing experience.
Aren't you supposed to walk around with like cans of pebbles and stuff so that you make lots of noise?
Nah, I think they're more scared of you actually than you really are them, unless they're really hungry. But
that's not true in my case. They are not more scared than me.
Oh, did you have a bear experience?
No, I'm just never going to have one.
They're black bears, not grizzly bears. So they're a little more friendly.
Yeah. Lara says that White Hawk would talk the bear out of eating me. Hopefully that would be the case. I know that certainly White Hawk loves the bear, loves bears, loves the claws, uses claws in psychic surgery. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a website yet. I'll be working on that. I just have a few things to sort out, and then I'm going to really focus on getting my name out there.
Cool. And you're on our practitioner page.
Okay, yes.
So we have the SRA website, spiritreleaseacademy.com. On the practitioner page, we have all of our certified practitioners that are coming through. There are more being added because there's more going through at the moment. Those certifications have been earned, and now we're getting people's bios, photos, and everything, contact details on there as well. So I think it's fair to say that it's constantly changing at the moment, Andy. It's getting bigger and bigger, and it's getting stronger and stronger.
Well, and I just have to
say,
we're certainly keeping. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Andy.
I was going to say we're just certainly keeping Ollie busy. Ollie's doing the website stuff, so he's our tech guy. So every day he's getting requests. Can you do this? Can you add that? So there's a lot going on really from the back end perspective for sure.
I would just want to mention the support of the team is amazing too. Like you're not alone. It's a team, and I'm so honored to be a part of this team. The support is amazing. I mean, if you have a question, a psychic attack, whatever it might be, somebody is there to answer or help within minutes. And that's the nice thing about being worldwide. If we're sleeping, you're awake. If you're awake, we're sleeping. Somebody's always there to help, which is amazing.
That is true.
Yeah. I think one of the positive things, really, that's kind of, it comes out of having a worldwide organisation, doesn't it? In that way, that there's always someone awake.
Yep.
So when people just want to be checked, or you're not quite sure if you're feeling a bit off, or you wake up and you just want someone to check in, you just put a request in the WhatsApp group. So we've got like an emergency kind of ICE group in case of emergency. You put a ping out there. In fact, people write ping now as well. We used to say the WhatsApp group said pinged when Jonno and I talk to each other. So ping was our word to say if someone's pinged the group. So we'd dive in. Whereas now people put ping and someone dives in. So it works really well, I think.
Yeah, it does.
It's all picking up on our language.
Yeah.
On our chat.
I love that.
But I mean, now we got the online course, which has been released in August. We're going to start the actual teaching in that in September. So if there is anybody who wants to pop into that, we still have a little bit of time. But we now have someone coming in from Asia, the Southern Hemisphere.
Oh, cool.
So we now have Southern Hemisphere students coming into the courses. And that will just mean that the expansion throughout the world, the grid of light that we have going throughout the world is just going to get bigger and brighter. And of course, that timeline, there's always someone awake. There's always someone willing to work and help. And there's always someone willing to listen within our group. So it's just phenomenal what's actually happening right now. And I think I'm right in saying that's the first Southern Hemisphere student we have. But I know it's not the last, because we get messages from people in Australia, particularly Australia, talking about going out and doing some training there. So I'm up for that.
That's 24 hours on a plane. Bye, Jonno.
Yeah, I don't mind. Have a lovely
Long
watch the spiders.
Yeah, in fact, if we go via our practitioners and pop in on them, it wouldn't be so bad. We got Dubai, Malta, Singapore. Yeah, we can go via Canada. We'll be all right.
It's only an 8-hour flight.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah,
we can do that. So brilliant. Thank you very much for coming on.
And thank you guys.
Nicole, you've told us things that we didn't know.
Really?
And, yeah.
I'm glad. I'm sure I know there's more. There's so much more I can say. I know there is, but
well,
we don't have the
I think from our perspective, it's interesting to hear your experience. Obviously, we know what we do, so we turn up and we do the course, and it's a subject that we've been involved in for 20 years, so we know it passionately. But it's very interesting to hear about people like yourself in terms of your journey, what drew you to it, then when you actually do the training, how you feel doing the training, because of course we don't know that aspect of it. And what we see is you guys connect. Like, we come in on day 2 and you guys are like this family all of a sudden that no one knew each other. And by the time we walk in at 9 o'clock in the morning, everyone's just like connected together, laughing. It's just, the atmosphere is high. It's quite extraordinary to watch, really, from our perspective, really.
Yeah.
And obviously, and part of that, I guess, is because you're all together. So because you're there in the same hotel for sort of most of the time, there is so much time spent together that those relationships really get bonded and grow really strongly quite quickly.
Yep, definitely. Actually, coming home, you said we would experience that crash, that down. Yeah, you do. And it's like, oh, I miss it. I miss everybody. I miss being there. That's actually the first time I've ever gone anywhere and wasn't ready to go home. I was not ready to go home. I wanted to stay longer.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it was an amazing year. There's no words.
I think Laura just put in the chat the soul family for you. That is the whole thing. It is like a soul family, isn't it?
Yes.
You actually feel like you're around people like you, whereas we all kind of go off to our own locations. And, like, I think quite a lot of people say, wouldn't it be great if we all could live together in the same place? Because you'd have all of these people with the same sort of understanding. And, but of course, from a spirit guide perspective, Chen said, well, why would we want that? We want everyone to be in completely different places, to be able to change where you live and the areas that you're in and the countries you're in. Whereas if you put all of the SRT practitioners in the same ranch together, the vibration would be obviously great and it would be high, but you wouldn't get any work done because we'd just sit around laughing and talking all day.
Right.
So this is the thing, isn't it?
There would be no work to do if we were all together.
Yeah, that is true. A retreat. That's what we need.
Yes, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Do something like that. We can get it done. We can get it done. But there's so much behind the scenes that we're doing that will start to come through, I guess, within the next 12 months. But there's lots happening. It's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting what's happening. So it's good.
Excited to see it all come to fruition.
It will. It will. So if there is anybody thinking about coming into the USA course, we are taking applications now. Andy, I know that you're hosting this, so I wonder if you could just pop the SRA training page on there. And if there's anyone thinking about coming on to the October course, Andy and I are doing a live chat this Saturday, 5 o'clock UK time, and it is purely for the people thinking of coming on that specific course. So we are directing the conversation solely around being in Ithaca, New York State, in October. We're going to tell you about the training, how it all works. We'll tell you absolutely everything. Any question can come to me and Andy, and we'll openly answer it without any issue whatsoever. It's important that you need to understand what it is you're going to be going to. So yeah, Ithaca in New York State. Conversation with myself and Andy Saturday at 5 o'clock. And just fill out the application form. We will see your name. We will see your email address, and we'll pop the link into it. It's a private chat. It's not open. It's not on here. It won't be recorded. It's purely for the people that are thinking of coming. Exciting times ahead.
I was that chat.
Yeah, I think that's a good.
Side. Okay, I'm going for it.
Yeah, of course. That was the equivalent chat, wasn't it? Earlier this year where you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the number one question we get so often is the protection and security. People worried about their families, they're worried about themselves, because of course in the past we've seen a few problems pop up. But again, from your perspective, Nicole, what would your opinion be to cover that answer off without us?
Oh, don't be concerned, because if you do have an issue, they're there to help. But my family's been fine. I mean, I ask for protection for them every day and do my thing, but I wouldn't worry about that at all as long as you follow the advice given, you'll be fine. There's nothing to worry about. No.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing. Stay on track. Keep focused.
Yeah. And being able to do this work too, think of what you're doing for your family as well. Keeping them sovereign and safe and being able to.
It does become a bit of a full-time job, doesn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Which is good, obviously, because that's what we do.
Yeah. Wouldn't want it any other way.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. So we'll leave it there. Nicole, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Nicole. It's been a great chat. Much better than reading off a script, obviously. Hopefully you didn't feel too nervous when you started talking.
No, I was a little bit nervous, but stumbled over my words a few times and had some blank moments, but it came out.
Natural.
I think even Laura does that occasionally, so I wouldn't worry too much.
I was thinking about Laura this morning, wondering, how does she do that every day? Good for you, Laura.
Yeah.
Laura's been practicing.
Yeah. I guess it becomes natural after many times. Yeah, it's a first for me.
Good enough for us.
Yeah.
Just being natural and honest. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole. Take care.
Thanks for that. And we'll wind this up. Thanks for joining us. Everybody else.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.